Welcome to my channel, fellow Rotorheads. This is Captain Hellesim coming to you on an Uber Eats run to a local oil rig. Going to drop off some soup. The delivery charge is going to surprise these gentlemen. Regardless, today I wanted to talk about virtual reality. There's some really great things to say about it and also some kind of sad things to say. And so we'll cover both issues. We'll start with the first thing, which is how much I really appreciate virtual reality. Without VR, there would be no way that I could safely deliver a bowl of soup to these oil rig workers. It has changed my ability to fly and my confidence in flying and the realism in how I fly in the simulator. Someone commented on a video that said that they had a really hard time determining whether the helicopter was in a pitch-up attitude or whether they were ascending. And they admitted that they did not use VR. Now, admittedly, that is still a problem in VR, but it's not nearly as significant. And that difference in being able to determine, look around naturally and be able to determine what attitude the aircraft is in and whether it's actually rising or falling and what posture you're in, that ability to do that in VR is what makes this landing possible. Flying a helicopter on a monitor is like trying to drive a car if your vision out of the car is limited to a monitor-sized screen. If you had to make a turn to the left or right and you had to, with a button, change the position of the screen from left to right to see where you have to turn, it would be extremely difficult to do that. VR makes everything much easier. After I ordered my VR headset and was waiting for its delivery, I decided to film myself landing with my monitor expertise of many years with even the simple flight model of this H-135. And here I'm landing at the South Heliport in Manhattan. And you can see I'm kind of all over the place. I'm having a hard time judging distance and height. I'm not aiming for the landing zone very well. I overshoot it. I do put it down safely, but nobody would want to be in a helicopter with me flying it like this. By comparison, look what 1 year of VR use has done to my flying skill. Putting the same helicopter down in the same airport, you can see I can put it down smoothly with precision, accuracy, and professionalism. This is all entirely due to the VR headset. I did my research and decided to go with the VARJO Aero headset. It had the highest resolution at the time. It was very well received. The color was great. And there's just a number of factors that made me decide that this is the headset that I want. One of the things I haven't seen anyone describe is the field of view in terms of the actual effect on your vision. They talk about number of degrees, a field of view, and how great it is. With the VARJO, it feels like you're wearing a scuba mask. That's essentially what it looks like. So imagine flying with a scuba mask on. That's not terrible. It maybe feels something like wearing a flight helmet. So I took it that way, and you can look around and you can see everything you need, but be aware that it's like you're flying with a scuba mask on, which is okay. What's not so great is that the headset is kind of heavy on the front of your face, and it weighs down on your nose, and it hurts. By the end of an hour or two experience, my nose actually has a line indent all the way around it because of the weight of the plastic on my nose. Those are relatively minor complaints though. They're tolerable and I haven't really made issue of them. The whole point of VR though is immersion, and these issues that have just recently cropped up are immersion killers, so they ruin the experience completely. This is the bad aspect that I'm dealing with right now. A couple of months ago, my headset started doing something weird. I was starting to see this speckling of random white noise appearing over the screen on the headset. And it would just come and go, and it wasn't that big a deal. I thought it was just occasional noise, that maybe the cable was loose and it was fine, and I just kept flying and it was not very noticeable. But there was another factor that was noticeable, and I didn't really think about it much, but I started to notice that it was affecting my flying. The screen would time out and go dark if I stared in one direction too long. It would turn back on again if I shook my head to let the system know that yes, I'm still awake. The timeout is to protect the screen from burn-in the way old monitors used to do. One of the other YouTubers talked about how before they implemented that, he left his headset on all night and it burned in the image that was on his computer into the screen, which ruined his immersion experience. And they replaced his headset. So I'm not saying I don't appreciate this feature because it does protect the headset. However, this was coming on while I'm in flight, so clearly it's not working correctly. This is a reenactment of what the experience is like. I'm coming in for a landing at the US Bank Tower in LA. I'm keeping my eyes on the landing zone, and I'm not moving my head because I'm keeping track of where I'm going. VARJO decides to shut off the screen because I'm not moving. It thinks I'm not wearing the helmet and tries to protect the screen. But I'm trying to land at this critical moment. That's a major problem for stability and landing precision. Now imagine for a second the experience of seeing the white noise appear and then the screen goes black when you're trying to land. Not much for immersion experience, is it? Now I did contact VARJO about this, and the song and dance has been going on for literally a month and a half. They've been very responsive and courteous, and they've sent me some cables and some additional electronics on the floor, not the headset. They have advised updating the drivers, downdating the drivers, reinstalling the software, reinstalling the firmware, standard song and dance that IT generally gives. I suggested at one point towards the end here that perhaps it was time for a swap out. They said I'm past a year warranty on the system. They said it was possible that there might be a repair. I asked how much that would be. That was nearly 2 weeks ago and they haven't responded. Seems to be that they have lost interest in responding and resolving my obvious hardware issues. Now, I understand that a company cannot afford to swap out hardware forever. There has to be a limit to how long you're willing to support a product. Now, I also understand that this is not a $50 trinket. It was a $2,000 expense. And I've had it for about 15 months where it worked pretty well, and it no longer provides its advertised immersion experience. If you do the calculations, it amortizes out to about $120 a month, $4 a day, or for the amount of time that I spent flying, about $2 an hour. Is it worth it? To start off my video, yes, it is worth it in the end. I am very pleased about the way I'm flying now. I'm grateful to the concept of VR that I've been able to improve and really enjoy the hobby. I wish I had known it was going to be $2 an hour. I'm not pleased with the idea of spending $2,000 on a piece of hardware that only lasts about 15 months. Now that is a data point of one, an experience of one unit. Clearly some units are going to fail. Their response is less than pleasing. And so my overall rating on the product and company, I can't really recommend it. I think the performance is very good. The longevity and customer service is not so good. The last email I got from VARJO was not a response to my issue. It was an invitation for some special event they were holding with the title Immerse Yourselves. Well, gentlemen, it's kind of hard to immerse yourself with this experience. In any case, I look forward to your thoughts and comments. I look forward to my next headset. And until next time, may the feeling of that rotor wash over you.